All right, y'all. Let's talk a little bit. Feel like it's been a minute, you know, but I got a few minutes. I just want to do about like a 30-minute stream talking about this big fight coming up because I feel like I haven't been talking about it enough. Been busy, but yeah, kind of a off the uh off the mark stream. Usually don't be on at this time, but I got some time because I'm just kind of sitting back, chilling, recovering a little bit here. So yeah, let's get into this for a little bit because I was sitting back last night watching these interviews. And before I do like my prediction, which might be later on tonight if I have time, or I'll do it tomorrow, I said I just want to talk a little bit about this Valentina and Alexa fight. And, just what was said at these interviews. We can look at the key points, but pretty much just, wanted to kind of run through some of the things Valentina said in a couple of interviews and talk about Lex Grasso and going to be her game plan. What's going to be her game plan in this fight. All right. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about this fight for about 20, 30 minutes here. All right, Marcus Bell, what's going on? So what you think, man? Like I said, a lot of people, I think more people are just wanting Valentina to lose at this point. They just want to see a new face. But I think the closer we get to this fight date, a lot of tones are changing. I think a lot of people are kind of changing their tone because, a couple weeks back, maybe a month or so, people were thinking, hey, Alexa Grasso, she got the goods. She going to do this. She can do that. And I'm like, okay, I respect people's opinion. But to me, it's still like, I'm not seeing it. I did a video a while back, talking about her chances. And, this is just me. Like I said, this is just my opinion. I just don't get the same feeling like I do with some of the other fighters that have rose up in the rankings. Alexa, she's a good fighter. She's talented. And, she's a technically good stand-up fighter. And she's growing. But I still just don't think there's that level of threat there against somebody like Valentina who's just well versed in everything, right? All right, Mojo, what's up, man? He says getting close, big fights this weekend. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the whole card. So, hopefully Saturday we can get a fight companion going and we can watch this whole card for the most part. All right. But yeah, I think a lot of people are in that mode where they like Grasso as a person, they like her as a fighter, and they're just kind of getting tired of Valentina. And this is what I'm getting. Me, I'm not. I'm fine with it. If a fighter or champion is dominant, I'm cool with that. If a champion is always putting in the work and they're not giving me any reason to doubt them or feel like they're not respecting the game. No, man, like Valentina, she's doing everything she needs to do every fight. It's the same thing with her. She's always putting in the work, always getting better. So to me, it's like something you can't really knock. You just have to say, hey, hats off. Let's wait for a worthy contender. But hopefully, Grasso is that one. I mean, because right now, Valentina, like I said, she's prepared for whatever is to come. A lot of people continue to ask Valentina questions about Alexa Grasso's boxing. That tends to be everybody's go-to in this fight, is her striking. Well, most people just say her boxing. They don't just say all around striking. Because when I think of striking and boxing, of course, two different things, And I think that's the part I think Valentina is already kind of like, rubbing her hands together about. People think that her boxing is going to be like this big, big thing. But to me, I think Alexa Grasso, just well, the fans thinking Alexa Grasso's boxing is going to be this big key. They gotta go back and watch the tape. They gotta go back and watch the tapes here because they have to understand, it's more than just boxing. Now, if it was like striking, like her MMA striking, her variety there and how she's active with just her striking, I think that would be a problem. And that's where I was watching, the Joanna fight again. I think that's where the competitiveness came in, if you understand what I mean. Like Joanna, her being like this more so all around striker and Muay Thai fighter that transitioned to MMA well. Um, I think there were times where she was a little bit more competitive with Valentina. Of course, she still lost the fight, but I think there were moments in that fight where she kind of held her own and still was able to take more risks because it wasn't as predictable. But see, if a lot of the fans feel like Grasso's boxing, like her pure boxing approach is going to be like this uh, game changer against Valentina, you got another thing coming, because look at the stances here. If you're looking at an MMA striker, like how Joanna moves um, versus how Grasso's moving, Grasso has good movement. Yeah, she's fluid in the way she throws her strikes. But some of the approaches that she takes on her offense is still like a boxer. And I think somebody like Valentina, who studied boxing and has been a boxer herself, she's going to know those fundamentals and she's going to know how she's taking the approach. Like if she tries to come in on offense a little bit more, playing, flat footed, playing her feet, I think that's going to be Shevchenko's moment to rip her lead leg, start attacking that calf. Or, if she's trying to come in elbows high, trying to weight her way in a little bit, throw Valentina off, and she's not using angles, that's going to be that moment where Valentina, puts that spin kick to her stomach, or to her chest and knocks her back. And she was able to score that on Valentina. So, I mean, against Joanna. So believe me, that's going to be a big part in this fight. Those kicks are going to be a big part here. So, looking at that and just kind of playing back some of how the other strikers fared against Valentina, who were more so, like MMA strikers, I think that, Alexa Grasso, she's going to have to find more ways here, to be effective if she wants to do this stand up, because Alexa throws nice kicks, but I don't know if she throws enough. I mean, what about you, Marcus and Mojo? What do you think? Like, do you think Alexa throws enough kicks to kind of make us say, oh, this is going to be different? Like, do you see enough? Or if she chooses to throw kicks more in this fight, will it be um like a shocker to Valentina where she could land something big on Valentina or throw Valentina off her game just by implementing more kicks in this fight? That's something I'm kind of wondering. Like, she throws nice kicks, yeah, but I didn't really see, like, even in the Arujo fight, like a nice variety of kicks. She was just really piecing her up with the hands, And I think kicks are going to be a big part of this fight, even for like Amanda Nunes, for Amanda Nunes to land and stay ahead of Valentina or even just kind of pick away, she was always kind of like pecking at that calf, Nunes was, she was always striking that calf when she couldn't get in upstairs. And that's something that Alexa's going to have, because Shevchenko, she's going to be prepared for that. She's going to be prepared for the boxing. And I was just looking at this other interview here, this ESPN interview, and Valentina was already like, I already know what she's going to be doing, and she said, I know her fears, and yeah, she said, I'm not going to expose any of that now, but you're going to see it on fight night. She's like, I know her fears, right? Which is something else I'm going to talk about towards the end of this stream. But yeah, as far as just like the technical side here, I just see Valentina having one step ahead here because, like I said in my other video, when we compare the boxing skills, a while back, I think I did a video a while back too, like the best boxers in WMMA, like almost a year or so ago, I think. And I can't remember. Well, I know I had Valentino on that list. I can't remember how high I had Grasso. Did I have Grasso over Rose or Rose? I can't remember. Anyways, still had to put Valentina over Grasso because if we're talking like best boxing put into MMA, I would have to say that Valentina, I think she uses the more subtle fundamentals of boxing and the more trickier, slicker fundamentals of boxing that makes it a little bit more. What's the word? It makes it. mm, I think she uses I think Valentina used the fundamentals of boxing that makes it more successful for her. Let me put it that way. Not saying Grasso doesn't, but I just think Valentina's always one step ahead because the way she measures range, Valentina is like a boxer. You know, how she's always kind of looking at the shoulders and the chest and certain things that she's doing, even the way she's kind of setting up her punches, but it's not really like telegraphed. It's not predictable, if that makes sense. It's just something I know, like just by looking at, sometimes it's hard to explain like that. But I think if you watch a lot of boxing and you understand like what she's taking away from it, you'll see what I mean. Um, Grasso, I think she takes it's the obvious to me. It's the obvious. And I think that's where Valentina is going to see what's coming. She's going to know what strikes are coming, um, what angle she's going to turn, and how to break through that defense. Because, even Arujo had some success at times. She didn't win any rounds, but she had a little bit of success, breaking through that guard. And I think Valentina um, is going to be able to shut down any activity, make Alexa fight behind her, and be first. And that's three of those things in boxing that you really need as like a technical puncher, or even, just like a good counter puncher. You have to be able to make a fighter fight behind you, and you have to be first and take away weapons. Like Grasso again is a very good boxer, but I just think that she's not on the same level as far as just those subtle things that Valentina is taken away from the world of boxing, like you said, Floyd Mayweather or Andre Ward, those type of boxers. Um, the things that they take away that really break their opponents down or making their opponents fight behind them, taking away their best weapons, and being first. Being first in there. Claude said Val was the best tactician in all women's MMA. This is what makes her even more difficult to beat. Yeah. Tactic. Not just being the tactician, but because I think Grasso, she's a very good technical fighter, but it's that second thing I want to talk about here is the it is the it's just the want, it's the want level in Valentina, to be better. And like she said in this ESPN interview, like she is a human, because people always, I'm gonna throw that first of all, look, people always make it sound like she's invincible. No, like Valentina is a human. Okay. Like Valentina, she's a human. She's a special human though. Right. Like I never try to put any person on this pedestal like they're not a human. Like she's a special one. That's why I talk about her and I still give her praise because it takes a special type of person to do these things. Like they're they're not anything above a human. All right. Like that's the first thing a lot of fight fans have to understand. Like what they do um is not anything supernatural. Okay. Not to go off the deep end. I think a lot of people know that, but they just tend to kind of they don't know how to choose their words sometimes. But me, when I'm talking about Valentina, she's a special person. Like it takes a lot to do what she does, So, I think she's the type of person the type of fighter that's always about growing. She's always about growing, and I think that's what just separates her, and that's what's going to separate her in this fight. Like as far as her mentality of getting better and what she's learned, it's it's miles past Alexa Grasso in that. And that's all it is. That's just something that, you know, everybody's born with a brain, right? Everybody's born with a brain. Everybody's born with that ability to start and get to that finish line. But it's all about the choices you make to get there. And I just think that okay, Valentina, she's done certain things to get there and understand that okay, since I am human, I gotta do certain things to stay one step ahead, and that's where the mind comes in. All right, so that's where you say somebody like Valentina Shevchenko is have she has that mental strength that's levels above somebody like Grasso. So it's not just the technical skills in this fight. It's that level of knowing that I've already done the work. I've done more work than her, and I know I can do it. I know I can beat her. And she's like, since she's on that level, she already knows what what Grasso's fears are. Like, how do y'all feel about that? Like, she was like, "Oh, I know what Grasso's fears are, and I'm gonna show them in the fight." Yeah. So I'm just kind of reading through that now. I think that's kind of a scary. That is kind of a scary thing to hear fighters say, especially when it's partly true when they've proven it time and time again. You know. BJ, what's up, man? He said Grasso counters will be a thing. I hope so, man. I hope so. I want to see a good fight when it comes down to it. He said when it's so bad, it's nobody's miss. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it just comes down to somebody knowing how to keep discipline. Yeah, it's about being just being a disciplined person. Like, and I think that just shows you how many people are not disciplined in this world. Like, it just shows you how many people don't understand. Like, when they see somebody like Valentina doing what she does, or they just see somebody that's really like fit and in shape, people say, "Well, how did you do that?" They think it's some magic trick. Like, they just snap their fingers and it happens. And you just got to be like, "Well, it's hard work, right?" Or like, people say, "Oh man, like how did you earn all that money?" Or, how did you become this multi-division world champion? And they're like, there wasn't some type of secret to it. I think that's how the fans see it with Valentina. Like, they think there's some kind of secret to it. So they put her on this pedestal. But no, it's just hard work. It's just hard work when it comes down to it. So, somebody like Valentina Shevchenko, she's just going to be prepared for whatever Grasso's bringing, because she still knows that um, it's about being well-rounded. Like, of course, you're not going to be uh, an A across the board here. Like, I can say what I say about the jiu-jitsu of Valentina on the ground versus like Aaron all day, but we know that Valentina, um, being well versed and well rounded in just MMA period, is going to always help her succeed over any of these other fighters right now, right? Like I said, Aaron fight is still going to be a good one, but I'll break that down more, as we get to it. But I'm just saying, like, if Valentina continues to go on like another streak and beats all these other contenders, we'll know what's contributed to it, right? But let's see. So yeah, Grasso, man, what is she gonna have to bring in this fight? Well, like she said, this was probably one of the, not in her exact words, but one of her biggest training camps. And she hasn't trained this hard before in her life, and I think she understands the task. But let me pull up this interview. I just want to pull out some of the key points, because they have it pretty much. Okay, here we go. Okay. And this will be a kind of a question to us, like, T, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a minute. Well, I think I have seen you a couple streams ago. I know you pop in, but I'm glad you're listening. Glad you're listening, T. Shout out to everybody that's still in here. Yeah, make sure you hit the like button too, because I know I haven't been on, but been busy. So I said, let me drop through a little early since I'm laid back here. BJ said, no lie, Valentina saying, I know her fears is kind of worrisome. It is, man. Like, it's not a joke. And that's the difference between like trash talk and like fact talk. You know what I mean? Like, when Valentina says something like that, it's not like trash talk, because she's not out here bashing Alexa Grasso style. Like, when you hear people trash talk, it's always this fighter, they're the worst, or they shouldn't be here, or they're overrated. Like, you never hear Valentina disrespect like Alexa Grasso and say she's overrated or she doesn't deserve to be here. That's why I say I still respect Valentina as a fighter. Like, she'll say she's better and she'll trash talk in her own way, but every time Valentina says something, you have to, before you can answer, you have to say, wait a minute, there's some truth to that. Like, right after Valentina says it, I'd be like, Now hold up, Valentine. Then I'm like, no, there is some truth to that. Okay, okay. Because I'm gonna talk about it a little later in another video. Even the whole thing with calling Aaron Blanchfield a puppy and all of that. I mean, I was about to say, wait a minute. Now, guy, oh, you know what? Okay, there might be some truth to that. Okay, So versus like everybody else that just says stuff. You have to look at what she's saying. She's actually talking about her opponents without giving anything away. So when I heard her say, she knows her fears, and I think us that watch Grasso, I think we all kind of know it. So hearing her say it, it's like, okay, like maybe she is on to something, and maybe we were on to something, right? Maybe we're on to something because bringing that up now, I think I've been telling y'all this even before she actually put it out this way, is the reason it's hard for me to see Alexa win this fight is because I don't see the kill switch, right? I think a lot of us been saying that, right? Get with Candy. What's going on? She said, "Hey, hope you're doing well. Just hit the like. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm doing better. Just a little still sore from my, yeah, still a little sore here, but I'm doing a little bit better. You know, month of recovery to go. I feel like one of these fighters now because I can't work out, can't run for like a month. So I feel like one of these fighters out here now who's on a, little bit of a layoff, not a layoff, but on an injury and can't do any physical activity. You know, all I can do is about is walk and lift the phone in a cup to my head, but that's about as much activity. Walking can't get no workouts in. So yeah, I feel like a fighter now. Now I know how they feel, especially when that you have to make money off of fighting. When a fighter, they go through that mental depression when some of them have injuries. Oh, it's worse, of course, right? Because that's their income. But then they can't even stay in shape. They're so used to moving around, working out, doing something, and you have to sit for like 2 months. I think Jessica Andrade was going through that. She said she was depressed when she had that herniated disc. She had to like stay inactive for 2 months. So yeah. But yeah, about a month ago, and I'll be 100% again, and I can actually get back to doing, actually working out again. So yeah. Lolita, what's up? She said, I know her fears and mind games. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I said, that she's not just making this stuff up because it leads to, like I was saying, what we believe about Grasso. Grasso, very good fighter, but I just haven't really seen her, go after it in a lot of these fights. Like really, really put the dog on these fighters. And I think to counter anything that Valentina is going to be bringing on Saturday night, there has to be a level of disrespect. Like Grasso, she's really nice. She's a very respectful fighter, in and out the cage. But I think there just has to be moments in there where she says, we're going to throw tactics out the door. We're going to we're going to throw techniques out the door. Some of our tactics should be to, just really try to rough Valentina up in there. There has to be a physical approach. If Juliana Pena had thought out a few things, maybe she would have been successful. Like, I know BJ agrees with that. If Juliana Pena so, wasn't so leaning so much on the reckless side throughout her fights, if she could have found a balance, she might have beaten Valentina that night. If she would have balanced out her approach a little bit more. But that's what I'm talking about. You just have to have those moments where you throw caution to the wind and just go after it and kind of rough Valentina up here and there and take her out of her game. But I don't know if Grasso's going to do that. I don't know if Grasso's going to wait and look or kind of get into that starstruck mode. Because I was listening to what she said here. I know she said this. Look, I've been watching her career for a long, long time, and I think this is the biggest challenge of my life. I can't say that I'm the Wait a minute. Okay, I can't say I'm the best striker if I haven't faced someone like her. I'm truly happy and inspired for this fight. I know she's tough. I know she's dangerous in all areas, and this made me train tons, like a lot. Okay. So what do y'all think about that though? When she said, "I can't say that I'm the best striker if I haven't faced her." I guess I guess I kind of want to hear her say something more like, "Oh, my striking is ready. I'm just ready." But it still sounds like that might translate into too much respect. Like I said, it's just what I'm thinking. We just talking here anyway. I don't know. She said she was truly happy and inspired for the fight. I know she's tough. She's dangerous in all areas, and this made me train tons. I was extreme with my discipline, training, with my diet, my conditioning. I was extreme in all areas, and definitely I'm a better athlete right now. I can't wait to prove that. Which I definitely think she is. I think Grasso definitely is this time around. I think she's definitely trained harder than she ever has. But if this is the most intensity that she's ever had, this being the first time, it still is hard to see it paying off with a victory because Valentina's already been there many times. She's been there many times, and she's always stepped up to a level, even when we feel like her opponents haven't. Valentina's always stepped up to a high level, right? She's always stepped up to this high level that people just can't understand sometimes. Like against whether it be Lauren Murphy or Caitlin Chikag, and we see her do some you know great things in there. Jessica I, any of these opponents, she's done some wild things in there. So you've already known she's stepped it up many times. Grasso making it sound like this is her first time. I'm kind of like, I hope they were doing what I always say, like, hope they were studying her before then and, really, really trying to get a grasp of what Valentina is like when they first knew that they were going into 125, all the way back to when she first fought Jin Yoon Kim. Like, I hope they were going to that extent back then to, train and train. And I think she has it because she's won all the fights, but nobody's really felt that wrath of it like somebody that's coming up the rankings. And again, I'm just talking. I mean, and I have the evidence, I guess, because Valentina said it, right? She can see the fears in her, but I'm just saying, like, I see the improvements in Grasso. I just don't see that. I don't see that steamroll in Grasso. Like nobody's really kind of felt the wrath. Like this is somebody that's coming to really, really to get it. You know what I mean? Like Manon hasn't stopped Chikagan or Maya or Buena Silva, but like when she came in, she had stopped a few people. Tyler, she hadn't stopped every girl in the UFC that she fought except JoJo, but she was still like that. She had this rugged style, she had this rugged style where she was kind of pushing through some of these girls and bullying them. Aaron, how many girls did she finish? She finished everybody except Sarah Alpar, right? So yeah, you kind of get that vibe like with these girls, like they're really going in there to make this statement. And yeah, Grasso, she's making a nice streak. It's just kind of a different statement, and I just think it kind of translates even to what Valentina's saying. So I'm not making it up. I'm not making it up. I'm just kind of looking at the track record of how fighters are getting their wins. Are they getting them just you know being overly cautious, or are they really trying to make a big statement in there to make the champion look at him? Marcus had said something earlier. I wonder. He said understanding the task and having the ability are two different things, right? He said I still haven't gotten that over that Carla fight with Grasso. Very disappointing. Um, he said it might be a chance she ends up starstruck with Valentina. Yeah, that could be the case. Because I was just reading into what she was saying and feeling like I watched her whole career, and you see the level she's on. I'm hoping that's not the case though. I really am. I'm hoping that she comes in and performs, man. But let me see here. Anything else I want to talk about before I get up out of here though? Let me see. But yeah, that's pretty much what I was just kind of covering, because I wanted people to know I'm still watching. I just been busy, other stuff going on too, and I wanted to look at the interviews last night, and I'm like, yeah, man, like I think this is going to be another day at the office for Valentina when it comes down to it. I think she's prepared for whatever. So, a lot of the people that think that just the boxing alone of Grasso is going to win this fight is not. It's not. It's going to take more than that. And I think that's, again, like I think it's just coming from people that are ready to see a new champion. But I don't think Saturday night's going to be the time. Maybe I might be wrong. I mean, this is MMA, but to me, I just don't see it, man. I just don't see this being the time for Valentina, to turn that belt over. Grasso, she's a very good fighter. She's a very good fighter, but throughout, her streak at 125 and how she's performed in the past, exciting fighter. I love watching her. I just think there's a big level difference here, man. I mean, when it comes down to it. Even if she was to like somehow pull off a win, if there was a rematch, and let's say she did it again, I don't know if she would fare well against against the other contenders though, or even yeah, let alone I don't even know I can get past her pulling it off again. Lolita said, I've been listening to Valentina. I find her to be super full of herself, contradictory, annoying. Grasso needs to speak confidently about herself. Grasso seems to already have a defeatist attitude. Yeah, I don't know. Like, Valentina, I don't really see her as like. I think there comes a point where you do get kind of full of yourself, but I still have to say there's a level of respect because the hard work is still being put in. The hard work is still being put in. Because I know a big difference between when people are full of themselves and when they have the right to actually kind of boast a little bit. I think she's put in the work to speak highly of herself. I don't really get the vibe that she's like full of herself though, Contradictory, that's a different thing though. Yeah. I've heard some statements there, like not having anybody to fight, and then you could have ran it back with Tyler Santos when Tyler called her out, even though the UFC doesn't do immediate rematches, right? So on that note, I do agree with that, Lolita. Like there have been some contradictory things there said. Because yeah, when Tyler called her out in December and Valentina said she was ready in December, I was like, yo, go ahead and fight her. Go ahead and do this thing, right? And annoying, I mean, that's a matter of opinion for most people. But yeah, I agree with some of that though, Lolita. But yeah, Grasso definitely has to be more so confident, not just in the talk, but the approach. She's always again fought well as far as like her textbook, going by the book. But I think in this fight, she's going to have to be kind of a wild card and pull off something different. Get under Valentina's skin. Like I said, like fighters in the past, like Nunes, even Jennifer Maya and Tyler Santos had moments where they kind of got under Valentina's skin when they were still there. When they were still there and trying. And that's what really gets to Valentina when you fight her back. So that's why I'm saying, like, Grasso, she's going to have to be more than just technically sound here. She's going to have to get under Valentina's skin and show her I'm not going anywhere. And when you do that, that makes Valentina step out of her comfort zone sometimes and get a little bit mean in there. And when she gets mean, when people fight off of anger, that's your chance to capitalize because there's more mistakes that are open there, right? And I'm just going by what I've seen in the past in fights. When I seen like Amanda kind of do certain things, and like I said, Jennifer Maya, even though she was losing most of the fight, she was there, and when she tried and won a round, in some people's eyes, she won two, but going into the fourth and fifth round, I kind of seen Valentina going after her, like she really wanted to finish her. But it wasn't there, and she was taking chances, and that could have been Jennifer Maya's moment. So it's going to have to be on Grasso to do something totally different, as far as her approach here to make Valentina get her respect. Because with Valentina saying she knows her and I know her fears, they already know what she's done in the past, so she can't be the same fighter, you know. So hopefully Grasso's size comes into play because I know some people said that they seen them side by side and Grasso actually looks a little bit bigger. Hopefully that's translating to strength and not just like visual. You know what I mean? Uh get with Candice. I don't mind Valentina talk. She's sacrificing everything, love, family, children. She's been through the trenches. Right, right. Yeah, that's where I see that with the talk. I'm like, like a mom can brag about having her kids and raising good kids. Well, Valentina, this is her baby. Her accomplishments are her children. Those 7 rubies are her children. So she can brag about that hard work. That's what it comes down to. That's her form of children, her family, her sister and Pavel having her back and everything that's coming together to it, right? Let's see. Oh yeah, Darth up here. He said Pena is full of herself and annoying. I don't get that from Valentina. Besides her being confident and having a resume to back it up, right? Right. BJ says she hates opposition. Understandable, but should be expected. He says she hates opposition, and you think Valentina hates opposition? I don't think it's that she hates it. I think that it puts her in a different realm whenever somebody wants to fight back. You know what I mean? And like, there's that part of it too, like where not too many girls have crumbled. What too many girls have crumbled to it. So when you see something a little different, you really have to dig deep then, right? But yeah, Grasso, what can she do, man? What is she gonna do in this fight? Maybe I'll jump on later and do a prediction for it. But yeah, I feel like I have to catch up with y'all. So there's some things I want to catch up on. I gotta do a couple videos. Somebody asked me about Suarez and what's next for her, so I got to jump on and talk about that. Got to keep y'all updated on some WMMA. And like I said, I enjoy talking about it, so I'm gonna try to squeeze it in today. Squeeze in some talk today and tomorrow. Um, will Grasso fall? Will she be in that pile with Chikeg and Murphy, Cachoeira, and all these other girls like in Andrade? Will that happen? Yes or no? What do you think? Let's see. Alexa Grasso. I know Invicta posted up that fight with her Mizuki Inoue, and I was looking at some of the things that she was doing. I was like, okay, she was really letting her hands go in that fight. She looked, at that time, like she was trying to get a finish back then. Still came out with a decision. But that was like almost 8 years. Yeah, it was 8 years ago now. Dang. Grasso been fighting for a minute. Time goes by fast, man. Yeah, Mizuki Inoue, that fight was like 8 years ago now. Dang, I can't even believe that. Y'all check that fight out. That was a good fight. Y'all tell me how much has changed from her style since then. I mean, she's still a boxer. She still got that boxing style, but I will say that, yeah, her ground game and her clinch control has gotten a lot better. It has gotten a lot better, but they posted that fight up for free leading up to this, big card coming up Saturday. So y'all check that fight out. It's free on Invicta. It was like not hard to find. I mean, I put the link here in the chat. Y'all tell me what y'all think of her performance since then and how far she's come along. Let's see. Alexa Grasso, Mizuki Inoue. Yeah, I can't believe that fight was 8 years ago now. And in that 8 years, let's see. She had beat Jody Escobar. I remember watching that fight. That was a good little scrap. Didn't get her out of there. Beat Heather Jo Clark, which I picked her to beat. Then she lost to Felice Harrigan. I was like, what? Close fight with Random Marcos. Gets dominated by Tatiana Suarez. Puts a clinic on Karolina Kobakevich. Couldn't get her out of there. Let's see. Jin Yoon Kim. a clinic. Macy Barber, she had a close moment there. JoJo was landing some strikes on her before she took a fight to the ground, though. I ain't gonna lie. JoJo had put some hands on her. I mean, still got finished, but JoJo put some hands on her. And then the Viviana Arujo fight, that was a pretty good technical shutout for her. Yeah, throughout her fights, that's 4 wins in a row. I haven't seen too many things that would throw like a wrench in what Valentina does. You know what I mean? You know? Mark said it's possible that Manon could be the next title challenger since she's the number 1 contender, but that would depend on Manon in the UFC. Yeah, she's been back to training now, so we'll see. We'll see, especially after how this fight looks. Like you never know, like if Grasso does something kind of different in there that kind of offsets Valentina, she might be ready to go after it, right? Because I know Manon's plan was to go through therapy, be back to training in the MMA gyms by March, and it is March. So seeing how she feels from there, they'll try to maybe sign a fight within the next month or two. So we'll see. But Valentina's also been throwing it out there that not Grasso, Blanchfield is not ready. She's saying Blanchfield needs maybe 1 fight or more. So they might try to throw a Manon Aaron title eliminator, but that really doesn't make sense because both of them are 1 and 3 now. So I don't know. But yeah, how do y'all feel about that? I mean, Valentina said that Blanchfield needs 1 or more fights. She was like, when he asked her, she was like 1 or more. I was like, dang, okay. That's wild. I don't know though. She did what she had to do, and she put herself in the number 3 spot with a solid victory. So I don't know. Let's see. Where does Casey O'Neill fit in all this? Nowhere at the moment, Darth. Nowhere at the moment. Got to see what she looks like later this month, but at the moment, nowhere in this top 5 talk or top 6 talk. Right now it's all about Grasso and above. I'm just saying, Darth. You know, but it is on Grasso this weekend to do what she does. Let's see what she does. I don't know, man. Hold on. Somebody give me. I'm gonna ask this question one more time since I got like 32 people in here. Hit the like button. I'm gonna ask this question one more time. What do y'all see? That Darth said, "I'm joking." I knew he was joking. That's why I just had to throw that out there because it's true. All right, I'm gonna ask this question. What do y'all think Grasso has that's gonna offset Valentina at least? Like, what is Grasso have that can at least that's gonna make this fight different? Like, what does she have that's gonna make this fight different? And that's for the people that's picking Grasso or think she has a chance or even hoping she wins. That's a different story, right? Like hoping Grasso wins. That And I think that's what it is. I think a lot of the people that are hoping are just hoping. That's why they haven't given me an answer on what Grasso has that's going to win this fight. You know. Okay, so B just said Grasso has speed. Okay. All right. Valentina also has speed and timing. So I don't see that as being like a big issue. Footwork. Okay, we'll see how that footwork plays into a fight here with Valentina because with Valentina's pressure and timing, we're going to see that tested. Activity precision, I'll give her that, yeah. But activity might be a problem because of the timing. Okay. Yeah, I did ask the question, BJ. I mean, you gave them to me, but I'm just countering back on what I see. Like, uh, I I just don't see that being enough. I just don't see that being enough. I thought you were at least going to tell me you seen something like, she can go after her, like she's strong, or she, she got that dog in her, that Valentina ain't seen before. I thought you were going to tell me something. I thought there was something I was missing. I mean, I seen all that stuff you talking about, but I just don't think that that's going to be a big issue for Valentina, though. There you go. I mean, I could counter that too, but I mean, there you go. He could say that. He can say that, BJ. That's cool. Taking angles is important. I mean, that's something that a lot of people don't really do, like against Valentina. Too many are standing in front, waiting for something to happen. I think a big part is, to pile up points, by attacking her leg early, attacking the lead leg early, at least, getting something in and um, mixing it up, not just trying to headhunt. Some people try to headhunt Valentina instead of trying to go straight up the middle with a kick every now and then, or, you know, step away from her left hand, stepping away from the left hand and circling to their left, to get to the body of. I know one thing. I think uppercut would be a good punch for Alexa Grasso away from the cage. I don't want to see her throw any like uppercuts from against the cage because that'll leave her kind of open for Valentina to take her down. But maybe like if she can time like an uppercut, Valentina throws in her straight left hand um, at a good angle, that would be a good punch because I don't see too many fighters try that, and I think that's a good punch on Valentina when she throws a 1-2. You throw an uppercut, and she knows how to throw. She knows she's a boxer. That's why I'm going by what Grasso does as far as her style. Like I'm picking certain punches, but I think the right uppercut, would be effective on Valentina in this situation. Aside from the straight right hand, her being a southpaw, I think Grasso's straight right hand, but also like a sneaky punch would be her uppercut in this fight. But that's all if she can get down the timing. That's all, and if she can get it down. I don't know. Roger, what's going on, man? What's up? J Ball, what's up, man? I'm just killing some time here because I haven't been on and talking about this fight with y'all too much. That's all. Hope y'all are doing well. Um, yeah, to wrap it up though, yeah, people are really asking about Aaron, man. People are really asking about Aaron right now. So that might be the next fight. I personally don't think there needs to be any more title eliminators. I think you just have to line them up now. Um, Aaron wants it. I think win or lose is a learning experience for her, so they might as well just go from there. I think they might as well just kind of go from there and just kind of line them up. When you get to 1, 2, and 3, you don't really have to decide anymore. You just kind of put them in there. Roger says all good. Hope all is well with you. Yeah, man. Still going through the same. Still in my recovery mode, but doing much better. J Ball said Val is planning on going in there and making it a wrestling match. She could very much well do that. She could very much well do that, man. She go in there and switch up gears because, like she said in this interview, she said it. It's people gotta understand this ain't just striking or this ain't boxing. This is MMA, and that's what she trains for. Where is that clip? She said, I know those fears. Even BJ had to admit that sounded kind of worrisome. And believe me, BJ, when she says that, if she says that same exact thing about Casey O'Neill, that she knows years, you better be just as worried. James said he can't hear me. You got audio issues? Y'all can hear me, right? I mean, I've been on for a minute. I think most of y'all can hear me because I've been making. Um, hold on. Dang, James, you can't hear me again? What's going on over there? Y'all can hear me, right? I know y'all can hear me. I ain't been talking to myself. Because if I have, I'm gonna take this laptop and throw it out the window. Then if I've been talking this whole time, I ain't gonna throw this thing out the window. It's a Mac, man. I ain't gonna throw this Mac out the window. Crazy. Hold on. Let's see. See, yeah, said she knows her weak points and she knows her fears, and I think a lot of us know. That's what I'm saying. Like when she says that, I don't take that as like traditional trash talk. I think she actually is saying that like that's what you're supposed to know about a fighter, right? Weaknesses and fears. Like if she started going off the deep end saying Grasso was trash and all that, that's trash talk. That's just junk talk. But when Grasso, she says, I know her fears and her weaknesses. Yeah, I think, yeah, you should be a little bit worried. You got to know because, yeah, yeah, we all see that. We all see what it is. I just hope Grasso does something to make it a little bit more interesting. Marcus said, what's funny? Some people were complaining about Santos not being a rematch Val, but if given the rematch, we as fans would have been screwed. Oh, you mean like if she had pulled out? Wait a minute, you said what's funny is some people were complaining about Santos not getting a rematch Val, but if given the rematch, we as fans. I don't know. She might have showed up for that fight. What do you think? Like maybe she would have made sure her stuff was together if she would have had that fight. Because you throw that fight away, it's over. But that's another video too. Santos, man, from Dana White's perspective, she doesn't want to fight in the US right now. So oh, okay, yeah, she was stuck in Brazil. Okay, yeah, it probably would have been the same. If they would have done it back in December, it would have probably maybe been different. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with her right now. It's going to be a waste whatever happens to her right now because very good fighter, very talented, probably one of the top girls under Valentina at flyweight, one of the most proven. But let it all be thrown away by some bad business deals and bad choices. And that's the thing, ain't even no injury or anything like that with her. See, Tatiana got put out for 4 years with injuries, but had the mentality to want to keep fighting. That's why I give Suarez a lot of respect. She wanted to come back and fight, but it was injuries. But then you got one that's 100% healthy, but is making the wrong choices here. And, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes with the right there, man. I really don't. But it must not be good because she's 100%. She's not sick, but fights aren't being made, right? You got all these other girls like Andrade who coming off a herniated disc, back in the mix, fight Lauren Murphy, um, fights Aaron Blanchfield a few weeks later, going back down to 115. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just hope Tyler get whatever it is that's wrong together and soon, man, because she let these she let more months pass by. It's gonna be harder to pick her having a better chance against Valentina at this point. Mm, I don't know. I don't know. BJ said, funny how y'all can accuse Chin of being a Val hater, but won't admit that y'all are an O'Neal hater. No, BJ, like, well, I know you ain't talking to me, but I don't know, man. Like, I don't think it's that they hate her, man. I think people are just trying to see where she fits in the division. You know what I mean? Like, they look at her style wise and just say, okay, she's not ready for the champ, or maybe even like the top two or top three, right? I don't think it's hate. I don't think it's hate there with Casey O'Neill. I think it's just, wanting to see her kind of build into a much better fighter. That's all it is. Yeah, nobody hates her, man. Get what Candy said. When you have a lawsuit, you can't get a visa. So I believe that's why there was no Santos rematch right now. Oh, okay. Yeah. Or fight, period, right? Or an Aaron Blanchfield fight. Maybe that was something they just figured out. So yeah. Yeah, Roger. I think Valentina, this could be the year she fights 3 times this year, right? You got Grasso, Blanchfield, and Manon. I think she could get her 3 fights this year. I'm calling it. Well, I said it a few streams back, a few videos back. This might be Valentina's year. Last year, she only fought what? Once. Maybe it's time to make up for it. This is going to be her busy year. Three fights. I thought Santos would be one, but maybe not. It might be Grasso, Blanchfield, Manon. So line them up. I think they're all good enough to line up now. Colton said, "Do you think Valentina's being too dismissive of Aaron?" I think when it comes down to it and they sign the fight, she's going to take the fight. But I think she's just kind of giving her perspective as far as old head versus knucklehead. And that's going to be part of the game. You're going to have somebody who put in the work, and they're going to say how they feel, and they're low key building the fight up too. But I don't think she's like being dismissive of her, because she's going to prepare for her, because she's going to have to. I think Erin's still a dangerous fighter. You know what I mean? She's still a dangerous fighter when it comes down to it. She's going to have to prepare for her. And, I think Erin is still that threat when it comes to her BJJ. But with all that being said, I don't think she's going to be dismissive. That's her feelings, like she said in this recent interview. But when they sign it, she'll take the fight. Both of them will. Dart said, "Where's the key for Gon to win, and what's the key for Bones to win?" I'm riding with Gon on this one. Let me ask y'all something. Is that picture real? Is that picture real, man? With John Jones's physique, is that picture real? I need to know that before I leave, because I'm gonna get out of here in a minute. I really am now. I'm gonna ask that last question. Is that John Jones photo shoot real? Okay, because if that's real Darth, okay, it's real. Okay. If that's real Darth, I'm gonna say I want to see Gon go to that gut early. One of the keys, Gon, is some well-timed body kicks in this fight. Chopping the foundation on somebody that hasn't been a heavyweight, I think that's going to be an important part of this fight. Somebody's been out for 3 years, go to that gut early. And I say well-timed because John is going to look to probably try to take him down, to avoid this striking clinic that Gon has probably got in his head, of kicks and mixing it up on him. So I think, his thing is needs to be well-timed kicks, because when he catches a kick, he's going to try to take Gon down, put him on his back. But I think key for Gon to win is really going to be going to that body, man. I think he's going to have to go to that body, because he's got some very, very nice kicks, man. Because take that time to break him down, man. Remember, this is his first fight in 3 years, and it's a heavyweight. You know, know that the level is there, though. Know this is still John Jones. He can find ways to win, but this is heavyweight, man. Like that's the same mentality I even had with boxing. Is like you can be as experienced as you can have all the experience in the world. Like if you're like a light heavyweight or cruiserweight, but when you move up to heavyweight, it's a totally different world. Michael Moore versus George Foreman. Michael Moore started off at light heavyweight, right? Moved up to heavyweight. Of course, he fought more fights at heavyweight than John Jones has, but he was having a good night. Technically, he was having a good night, but all it took was one right hand from George Foreman. He knocked him out. So Just understand it's still his division, and he can break this guy down who haven't been there. So I think it just has to be like a very technical fight where keeps his stand, attacks his legs, attack his body. Because when I saw that body, I was already like, "There's our target." You know what I mean? I don't know if he's putting that target out there to kind of throw him off. Maybe that's part of John Jones's plan. Is like, you see the belly, watch the belly, and he's gonna set something up. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to hypnotize him with the belly. I don't know, man. But that ain't a good look, man. It really ain't, man. Like for John Jones, I was like, wow, man. Mm. But yeah, I'm done, y'all. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Just wanted to jump on here and talk. I'll be back on throughout the day, I think. Maybe. We'll see. Because I got some time with, like a couple hours. Gotta go run an errand here real quick. But let me see. Close that out. Make sure you hit the like button. And we will talk later. Make sure y'all subscribe. BJ said he'll be live tonight. He might be live. He always says I might be live, then he won't show up. So, all right. I mean, he taking a week to eat that crow from that Montana fight. I mean, you might as well eat it, BJ. I mean, it's still sitting there. You got to eat it, man. All right. I'm out, y'all. Subscribe. Peace.